Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be introducing you to my 1999 Toyota 4Runner. I bought this about 2 years ago now. Bought it for 2,500 bucks, and I've just pretty much been using it as a daily driver and a bit of an off-roader as well. So just wanted to show it off to you guys, and today we're also going to be changing the oil on it. So I'll show you guys how to do that. Pretty much the only things I've had done to this since I got it was I put on a new front grille, which I think looks pretty sharp. Put on some 3rd gen Tacoma stock wheels and tires. I believe they're 3rd gen for 3rd gen Tacoma. I also upgraded the front brakes to 1st gen Toyota Tundra brakes, which has made it feel much better. And on the inside, it had this when I bought it. It's a pretty sweet wrap around the stock steering wheel, some nicer leather, contrast stitching, and a 12 o'clock mark on the top, which is kind of cool. So this is everything that you'll need to change the oil in your 1999 or 3rd gen 4Runner. You might not need all of these, but this is just what I'm going to use. So of course we have our 5W30 high mileage full synthetic oil, along with an oil filter. I went with a Mobil 1 oil filter. That's what I typically go with when I do my oil changes. Oil filter wrench to get the one off that's on there right now. This is a 14 millimeter for the oil drain plug. Of course you need something to catch the oil, so just have that cheap guy right there. We'll be jacking it up in the front and then using these chocks to hold the back tires in place. Along with, remember to always use jack stands when you jack up a car. And then I'm just going to be using this creeper because it makes life easier and I'm lazy. So first steps, we're going to get in here and we're going to pop the hood, which is located right here next to the ball cooler underneath the dash. And we're just going to come up here and remove the top cap for the oil. Having this open just allows it to flow and drain a bit smoother down there at the bottom. Next, we can put these wheel chocks in front of the back tires on both sides. Good. Then we can start jacking it up. So typically on this thing, I will just use that main lower subframe right there in the middle. I also personally like to usually put a block of wood in between the jack and wherever it's jacking up on the vehicle, just to make sure that the metal doesn't hurt the vehicle when it's going up and pushing against it. All right, now that we got it jacked up a little bit, I threw the jack stands under here. I just kind of had them, obviously they're just in case, so have them underneath that subframe right now. Remember, if you have an oil drain pan like this, to always take off this screw up here on the top to save yourself from having a mess everywhere on your driveway. Once you have the oil drain plug loose, I would recommend just getting your hand on the socket and then turning it to remove it. Just make sure that you don't accidentally drop the drain plug into the tray. And I would always recommend having a towel on hand so you can just lay that in there and then clean off your hand and any tools or anything that have gone on as well. All right, while that is slowly draining everything out of there, we're going to go and loosen up the oil filter, which is right here on the Toyota. Kind of an annoying spot, but it's not too hard to get to. So I did have to use this oil filter wrench, but what I did was I basically put my right arm up through here and then my left arm here between the oil pan and the subframe, and I just kind of torqued it with the oil filter wrench and got it cracked loose. Now I did forget to mention, but you're probably going to want to pick up some brake clean as well and just spray off the whole bottom of the oil pan here and wipe it down. Just make sure it's all nice and clean before finishing the job. All right, now that that's a lot cleaner up there, I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the oil drain plug back in, and then we'll move on to the filter. All right, now that we have that back in nice and snug with the ratchet, don't over tighten this. I would recommend looking up the torque spec. I just didn't because I'm lazy, but we're gonna move on to the oil filter now. So we're gonna bring this pan over carefully. All right, it's about there, should be good. And we're gonna take this bad boy off and drop it down here, put the new one on. All right, I was able to get the oil filter out, dropped it down here, made a little bit of a mess, but it's all right. So now next step is what we're gonna do is just spray off all this with brake clean, wipe it down, get all the oil off, and then put the new one on. All right, I got the new oil filter installed. And I know some people say, yeah, you should put oil around the gasket out of it. Some people say no, so I don't know. I just do it just in case, but remember to keep that just hand tight. Don't use any tool or anything to, torque it down super hard. Just nice and snug with your hand, and that's it. So now we can lower this thing down and then start filling it with oil. Another thing I forgot to mention is you will need some kind of funnel in order to channel the oil into the engine. I just kind of have this one laying around. It's not a great fit. You might want one with a little bit of a longer neck on it, but this will do the trick. Actually, this extra funnel laying around, and it made it a lot easier to pour this 5-quart container of oil down in there rather than spilling any. All right, after you've poured your oil in up here, you're gonna wanna come down here one more time just to check and make sure that there's no oil dripping from the drain plug or the filter up there. That's why it's important to use some brake clean and wipe this down and clean it off so you can notice if there's any oil coming out. But it looks like we're all good up here or down here. So now we can throw the cap back on and we'll be about done. One more quick thing I wanted to mention with this. I know that the 4Runners do come with a 4-cylinder or a V6. This is a V6, a 3.4 liter, the indestructible motor, as they call it. But, which means that it takes 5.5 quarts of oil. So I used this whole 5-quart jug, and then I just had this about a half laying around from my last oil change. So 5.5 quarts in this puppy right here. Now we're all wrapped up with the car. Last step that I'm gonna do is just empty this container out into the empty 5-quart container so I can take that back to O'Reilly's or AutoZone, and usually they recycle oil if you go to one. I know some of them don't, but that's what we're gonna do. One more thing I forgot to mention for you guys. Wherever you keep your information on your vehicle at, remember to keep tracking your mileage when you do your oil change every time. So before you go out and drive it, make sure to just check the odometer and then write it down somewhere. Personally, I have all my vehicle information in a Google Doc, just so it's easy to access on my phone, and I have all the information there. But keep track of that information. That way you know when your next oil change is coming up. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and leave any comments or questions or concerns, or call me an idiot, or say you love me in the comments down below. And I'm really excited for you guys to watch the next video that's coming out. We're gonna be going to a very fun event this weekend, which may be related to that sticker right there. But anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.